Hello, Bene Ogoni. Happy weekend. My name is Mr. Nero, the CEO of Nero Nation, your favorite musician, producer, and podcast host. I must say today I have one of the biggest name in Ogoni, a man I respect so very much. No other person than Comrade Nyiadoo Emmanuel, a volunteer for anything good in Ogoni, a one-time candidate of the Action People's Party for Rivers State House of Assembly Constituency 1 in the year 2023, a former national president of the National Union of Ogoni Students Worldwide. He served as special advisor youth and student to former Commissioner for Employment Generation and Economic Empowerment, Dr. Lelo Nui Bubasa, chairman, maiden edition of Kenneth Johnson Foundation Scholarship, coordinator of Dr. Lacey Gbosi Special Business Support for Young People. No other person than my own amiable comrade, Emmanuel Nyiadoo. My boss, you're welcome to Nero Nation Podcast. Thank you very much.
Uh, Good day, viewers. Like our host, Mr. Nero, have rightly introduced, I won't want us to be stressed about the plenty mentions. I think these are the facts you know about me. But I simply used to just introduce myself as Nyiadoo Emmanuel. I don't like answering the title Comrade because there are lots of responsibility in it that has been so abused these days.
Oh,
And comradeship does not mean that you gain admission to university or you used to do protests and you call yourself a comrade. It has to come with so many sacrifices. So I'm Nyiadoo Emmanuel, an Ogonison from Kana local government area from Gambowe, a graduate of history and diplomacy, and generally a volunteer for anything that will add value to humanity. These are the just simple definitions I have of myself. Thank you for having me, Mr. Nero.
thank you, sir. Sir, thank you very much for coming to Nero Nation Podcast. I must say you're one of those persons I respect, not just in Ghana, but in Ogoni at large, because you've left a legacy for us to follow. Thank you very much, sir, for being a good man. Today's topic is focus on governance and the governed in Ghana local government area. Peace, the way forward for development. So I want to ask, sir, just one question for you. Why are you so passionate about peace and development?
Well, a very crucial question. Why am I so passionate about peace and development?
Okay.
As a scholar in history and diplomacy, I'm a social advocate. So I'm a social engineer.
Okay.
I'm not a mechanical or electrical engineer. My engineering is about societal good. So without peace, there can't be development. Without peace, nothing works in society. So for every society to thrive, it's about peace. And like the topic for discussion today, on
Focus on
government
governance
and the
and the
governed.
yes.
There are key concepts in that topic. When you send the topic to me for mention, I said, well, it's something we need to talk about. We can't be a people without talking about government and the governed.
Okay.
We have roads. And for this topic, I want to set the perspective for this discussion. I'm not here as a politician. I'm not here as my current workplace where I work as an advocate for social good or in the promotion of health care. Just as we are before I came here today is World. I don't know whether you know what's today, Nero. I need to take you on that stretch.
Tell me.
Today is World International Day for Malaria,
Wow.
a day set aside by the United Nations to end malaria. So I am actively involved with my organization on how we can join the global advocacy to end malaria. We just
Okay.
finished that campaign. So that's today's International Day, which is part of what we are saying, peace. If there was no peace, we won't have the time to do the enlightenment we are doing across Kana and Ogoni communities
It's true.
in preparation for World Malaria Day. So we are setting this discussion based on the template that I am a Kana son, a patriotic one, very concerned one at that. I'm not an agent of government. I'm not speaking for my organization at the moment. I'm not also speaking for any of the parties involved in the matters we want to look at. But I'm sure what gave you the concern to invite me was my response to the situation in Bori,
It's true.
respecting to the Okada people, Chief Gani, and the chairman of council.
Yes.
But I'm not going to do response for any of them. I'm looking at the issues and how it affects our people. So that's the basis on how we are going to discuss today. And
Okay.
I want that to be respected.
Thank you very much.
Now, why am I so passionate about peace? I have been into active engagement when it comes to anything that will drive Ogoni better. I can give you just a glance. During COVID, I was one among those young people who volunteered. I got a team of persons with myself, people like Monale Banona, Prince Zoka, Bennett by Queen, from a lot of my friends, from Eleme, Tai, Blight, Ledumboris to Kana here. And we got free supports. We did COVID-19 sensitization, shared masks, shared sanitizers. In fact, we took the advocacy to every part of Ogoni where we could. That thing was not sponsored by any individual. It was a collective thing. People who were happy about what we're doing decided to give their support. As we speak, that was one of the things we decided to do.
Okay.
Now, we're still coming to peace. We also look at when I was NOS president, what did I do differently as somebody who was an aspiring young person? I had the first edition of a CBT free exam training for young people. That I know that that was the introduction of computer based tests for JAM. And Kana children, Ogoni children were going to write this exam. And I asked myself, how do they go into this exam when we don't have ICT readiness? We don't have ICT facilities. And I contacted a very young person. Passionately, he did it free. I provided only logistics, Simeon Barinodum.
Okay.
I think he was special advisor on ICT to the immediate past chairman and all that. And we organized a program using the Bori Peace and Freedom Center for the benefit of Ogoni people, Ogoni young people. We never knew where they were coming from. And that thing gave us success. So for every now and then, you must be concerned about how you can better a place. Now, if there was no peace, we couldn't have been able to do that campaign. We couldn't have been able to also do the CBT sensitization. But what was the outcome? Our children, about 4 of them, were able to pass excellently well, the ones that brought feedback. I had free jam from some people like Honorable Kenneth Kobani when I was president. Somebody from my community, nobody got. I just looked at vulnerable children who were passionate about their education. I gave them these forms. They went to university. One of them has just finished success, Kabara, and she's done today. So a lot of things have to come with peace. Now, and you cannot preach peace if you don't have peace. So I am a man of peace. I'm at peace with everybody. No matter what you do, it doesn't push you.
Thank you very much.
So looking at the emphasis of peace and development, Kana cannot be better. And when we say Kana, we are not just narrowing to Kana, we're talking about the gateway to Ogoni. Ogoni will be better if we have peace, because anything that disturbs Kana disturbs the entirety of Ogoni. So peace and development are inextricably linked together. Every development expert will tell you. They don't just talk about peace. And peace itself too is not a common thing. It's something that for you to have peace, there have to be justice, there have to be understanding, there have to be high level of commitment, because peace doesn't just come. People network for peace. So peace and development in Kana is one thing that can set the agenda for the broader discussion for peace and development in Ogoni. Now look at what we've gotten new. So many things have happened different from what it used to be, because the indices now have to guide our discussion as we progress.
Okay.
We have had projects going on from High Prep. We have had a project of the Federal University coming to Ogoni. We have had another one, an industrial park just coming up. If Ogoni was not in peace, will all these things thrive, Mr. Nero? So peace have a very strong relationship with development. Even human capital, peace contributes to human capital. How do we talk about human capital development without peace? In the days of crisis, we lost so many young people in Ogoni land. As we are coming out of that crisis, we are seeing, in fact, last week, Tai alone in Ogoni extraction produced 3 professors from Ignatius Ajuri University.
Yes, that's right.
So if not for peace and these men have died in crisis, are we going to have that? So from human capital to infrastructure to everything you can imagine, peace is an essential factor.
Yes.
And we are saying that on the subject matter, which is the rift between the local government chairman and Chief Gani Toba and the Okada people involvement, there are issues you need to ask for. which is why we are setting this discussion. Nobody should say I belong to the chairman or I belong to Gani, because we are one people. The Okada people are which people? They are Ogoni people, they are Kana people. Just few strangers who come here to do life, which is why we need to be more careful. It's not just Okada people, it's about other Nigerians in Kana local government. The chairman of council is elected to take responsibility for governance. He is to provide governance, security of lives and property. Chief Gani Toba is a concerned Ogoni person, concerned Kana son, who should also be part of building Kana. So what am I saying? We have to disabuse our mind first. Nobody is right, nobody is wrong. But my concern is ideal citizenship participation in the path to building Kana. When things like this come, is it to go on Facebook and begin to abuse the chairman, you begin to abuse Gani, abuse Okada people? Like a lot of persons expressed concern. My friends in the police force called me and said, no, you need to talk to the police, the Okada people to also be obedient. All these things put together boils down to government and governance and the followers, because there will be no governance without the follower. It is a collection of the government, the followers that make up governance. So we as citizens, we have a responsibility to obey government. Government have a responsibility to make arrangements for us. What is that arrangement? Make law and order that promotes the prosperity of society and the government. In this situation, a lot of questions will come to bear. Has the chairman done that? Has the followers done that? What are we doing? The way forward is, at the end of the day, peace. A couple of persons disagree with my philosophy about saying there should be dialogue. Some persons say, if the Okada man was your person, was your brother, was your father, will you say dialogue? And I have never seen where violence or protests have been the solution to issues. So we are calling for dialogue because we believe that through dialogue, we are going to answer salient questions, just like I reacted on Ogoniran to persons who asked. We are going to answer the question of, was government decision to make that restriction order okay? That question will be answered in a dialogue where we have the chairman, we have the young people, we have the Okada people, we have the police. That decision was necessary because there was threat to peace and security. We need to look at it. Then the Okada people complied. Did they comply? Yes or no? They complied. When they had challenges, did they communicate to their leader, which is the chairman of council, to say, oh, we're having this, we're having this? Did the chairman or the government respond? Yes or no? All these issues cannot be answered on Facebook or through long press releases. These questions will be answered in an ideal dialogue where the chairman will say, yes, when I made this order, because we needed to secure life and property, we did it. When you people came that you needed extension or whatever, I told you the reasons why we can extend or the reasons why we cannot extend. So communication of government policy is also a big thing, which we are saying. First, the Okada Union have a leadership. I know the leadership. I relate with them. Sometimes on Okada carry me very wrongly. I just go back to the chairman of Okada and say, please, you need to put a training together. Okay. We cannot continue see people losing their leg. So I relate with everybody in Ghana. Everybody. Okay. Because I don't come to Facebook to criticize Okada people. In the days when they were stealing with Okada, the former chairman from Wiakara, I met him and said, sir, can we see a system where we are going to have people wear tags and profile our Okada men?
Thank you very much, boss. You have said a whole lot. A whole lot. I must say that you are an embodiment of wisdom, and you've said a whole lot of things. But I just have one question again for you. Now, how do we set the agenda for the needed dialogue that will bring peace to these two persons involved?
Okay, Mr. Nero, just like the question said,
Okay.
it's not even about the two persons involved. We are all involved. Because you're from Ghana, I'm from Ghana, we are all
Honestly.
Ogoni people. So it's not just the two of them. Because up to this moment, I've not heard from the chairman, I've not heard from Gani saying they are quarreling or that they have a challenge. But we can see, because we are all involved, people who are friends of the chairman, people who are friends of Gani, and sympathizers of the Okada people are all talking. Okay. Oh, police people hit Okada man around Poly Road and nothing was done. Another Okada man was shot, nothing was done. All these questions are what the dialogue we address. So how do we get into that discussion? We have three parties right now: the people, the government, and those who are pushing for the crisis. Because if you support that this man was wrong, this one was wrong, this one was right, you're only pushing crisis. You're not bringing a solution. So the people own the solution. The government is government over everybody. As long as you live in Ghana, you are under the government. So How do we begin this discussion? I have a model because we cannot just criticize and not provide a solution.
Yes.
What I believe is that when situations come, rather than taking sides, we first of all address the issues. As I speak with you, I have been able to reach out to the Okada man involved. I've reached out to my friends in government. I've reached out to my friends close to Gani to say, no, we cannot continue to wash our dirty linen in public. Media tantrums will never bring peace.
Of course.
So how do we get to the dialogue? That's where I'm coming. So we are not going to get that dialogue or peace from the media or verbal attacks. We are going to get it from talking. And how do we set that agenda? We have a youth council in Ghana, everywhere in Nigeria, we have a youth council. The youth should not be wing leaders of war. The youth should be partakers of nation building, should be partners in nation building. So the youth will come in to say, oh, this situation is affecting an Okada man. If you check his bracket, is around. All of us call ourselves youth, but by the charter, the UN charter even puts it 15 to 25 or thereabout. It is the African charter that leads it to 35. So most of the people, most times we make noise about youth, we are no longer youth. We're already in active adult life. But because of the African mentality, our demographic factor, we just call ourselves youths. But the African charter, even at its expansion, leaves it at 35. Most of the people who say youth, they are beyond 35. Even myself, I'm beyond. I have nothing to hide about my age. I'm a very practical person. Now, this discussion need to continue. The chairman will always see himself as the father of everybody. And those under the chairman should see themselves like they are under the chairman. You make suggestions to government. Okada people, we had a challenge. The Okada people were supposed to send a delegation to the chairman, which I'm aware they did one time. When you don't get results, you go back to the chairman. Protest becomes a very last resort. In my days in student union, we used to hear about consultation, consolidation before confrontation. But today you see a very bad thing happening around us. People have not talked. The next thing they are in a protest about their own system. So we are not saying protest is bad, protest is good. But let us exhaust discussion before we go to protest. So in this case, we are saying that ideal youth organizations, church leaders should come in to say, chairman, how can we help these Okada people? Okada people, how do you want us to help you? Chief Gani, as a concerned person, I've not heard from him on this Okada situation, so I can't say what I don't know. So the dialogue is essential because we need to begin to talk. It's better to talk than to war. If we talk, these issues are things that can be handled. That's why I said they are not situations that are unavoidable. This talk will give us three feedbacks. The chairman will understand that, okay, these people are just aggrieved, they were sponsored or they were not sponsored. That's one. The second one will be the police. That discussion will de-escalate every tension between the police and Okada. That the police and Okada are not quarreling. They are two partners because the police is on the roads to secure the Okada people. If you take off the police people on all the streets, a lot of things will happen. Even when we have the police, they are stealing bikes like anything. So that discussion will usher in a network for them to work. It will bring a system where we can begin to design a profiling system for these Okada people. And we see how society will be of help to them. These things put together, Mr. Nero, we channel a new discussion and a new energy. Other than going to verbal attacks and media attacks, we are going to have a solution where we can talk and come up with an idea on how or what should be the modus operandi for the Okada men. Either restriction is there or not. The modus operandi, the ID standards, and the government will know their responsibility. The police will know the maximum means to enforce this law.
All right, boss. Thank you very much. You really said a whole lot today, and the kind of people are proud to have you because you are an embodiment of wisdom. Another question again for you, sir. I want to say, what is your concern for the role of youth in societal development? And why do you always hate youth, hastily taking sides in disputes? Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Nero, that's a very big question. What's the role of youth? My concern for the role of youth in societal development, and
What is that?
why am I always against youth hastily taking sides? It's still part of what we've just discussed briefly. Now, societal development and youth. Youth are the drivers of every functional society. So if you are a party to a conflict and always in the conflict, how are you going to be part of those that will drive betterment of the place. Now I'm going to mention about 2, 3 young persons who have done good in their communities and many others that are pushing. Okay, you. Let me start with you. This platform has offered us an opportunity to talk about Ogoni, right?
Yes, sir.
And push Ogoni in the right lights.
Yes, sir.
Whereby you know of Ogoni rant, same thing. Another young person from Taindume Green. These are platforms that give Ogoni people positive lights, right?
Yes, sir.
My friend Legbo Simabana in Banga is doing greatly well for that community. You're from Banga, right?
Yes, sir.
Is he not bringing light to that place?
He is.
My friend Winter Baribani in his community scene is shedding serious light. I think he gave them a market and is pushing. In fact, when youths do the right thing, you become indirectly an influence and a mentor for others to follow.
That's true.
So they will not be drug addicts. They will not be criminals. They will not be agents of societal instability. Now, youths are partners in societal development. So why should they be partners in conflict? Now, the youth will always take a neutral position. These persons I mentioned, if you go and check, they hardly get involved in community conflict. They are either in advocacy for structures politically, or they are in business struggle to get something. You
That's
understand?
true.
But you will not tell me that these persons I mentioned have gone to their village before to install chief or install youth leaders. No, that's the positive thinking we want. As I am, I'm not involved in my community. But whenever they invite me, I go. But I'm not involved in who becomes. Anybody the people want to elect, I go. I cast my responsibility as a citizen, as a native of that community, and we have a president. I did youth leadership. Look at what the Babe youths are doing right now with their leader. I think Lana and Win later, that they went to meet former military generals or military heads like Riyad Mirabako, collaborated with community chiefs that look, chairman is bringing a police station to Babe. We want to make sure that we can safeguard because it's part of our responsibility. Government and governance is our responsibility to defend government properties. So youths are supposed to be active in driving community advancement, not in pushing one narrative or the other. Since I was born in Ghana, I've never insulted any Ogoni leader. I won't. You won't hear it. You won't find the record anywhere. No matter how I'm offended by the action of a leader, I find my best means to write to him or to write to his aides to say, please, sir, Oga was supposed to do this better. We look up to him. If he's doing this, what is our hope tomorrow? But today we have youths where, because if I write this, this man is going to be angry. If I tell him he's doing bad, he will be angry. We don't tell them. So you're close to somebody, or you now anything the person does is right. That will not help us as a society. So youth need to understand that they are drivers in our own development because the youth will take over from the present leaders today.
It's true.
So if they say Mr. A did not do well or he did well, go back, ask yourself, did my Oga do well? Did my brother do well? Because somebody from your village, that does not make him a better person. There's somebody from my place that I don't have a close relationship with. But the first solar we had in Bo Way was given by him, a young person, Mr. Togasira Ideme. And when he did that, I don't know him. We are not close. I went to Facebook. I said, somebody has brought light to our place. When Dumawara was doing it in Kani before he passed on, God will bless him wherever he is. A good Kani man that can use his own money to develop his community. I don't know Dumawara. I wrote about him. That's what youths can do. Don't write about the negative things. Write about the positive things. The chairman have a skill program that is going on. Nobody from my family benefited. I said it was a good initiative. Benito fought for peace, restored his community. I said it was good. Because we bring our leaders' negativity to the public, they say that's how Ogoni people behave. People will not say that it was an internal matter. Because if it's internal, we won't bring it to the media. So there is a role of youth in community development. From defending government facilities to harnessing the potentials and coordinating youth behavior. Youths are like community armies. They guide you when you do bad in your family. Youth will call you and talk to you. I was in Mogo community recently, and I saw the youth leader addressing the matter of a child who refused to go to school, and the parents gave him money. And they counseled that young man and told him that drug addiction will send him to jail or end his life. This is what youth should do. We should not be parties to. So youths are driving development. And why do I dislike youths taking hasty conclusion? Even if you insult my father or somebody very close to me, I don't feel the best response is going to reply you on Facebook or wherever. I'll call you and say, this thing you did was bad. And I've done that and has worked severally. I said, this thing you did was bad. And you see that this youth will go back to apologize to that person and say, sir, you offended me, but I'm sorry I took it to Facebook. I wasn't so. And they will put down that post. Now, whether the big man forgives or not, you have said sorry. It's not your God. but you have been able to know that you did wrong. But if I didn't correct the person, you won't know. So youth should not take hasty conclusions. I don't take. No matter what happens. I told you this. Okay, this matter came up. When I wrote about it on Facebook, I was just calling for calm. I don't want tantrums. I don't want blame games. I don't want accusations. I want us to dialogue. I've gone to see the policeman. The victim, the Okada man. I've asked him, what is the challenge? How have you felt? What has happened? Have you seen the police? Have you seen the government? Those questions have been asked. And you don't want me to come here and bring it to say, oh, chairman has gone there, chairman has not gone there. No, we are talking for peace. When things happen, so make suggestions that will bring peace. But when you take sides, is a big problem, even in the global political situation. Because I've always said that these big players will reconcile and they will not call you on the day of reconciliation. And when they don't call you on the day of reconciliation, they are not your God, but they are ahead of you already. And recommendations will get to them tomorrow. Sometimes they would have advised you, they won't talk to you because you insulted them. So why is it that these leaders, when they reconcile, they don't call the youths when they are reconciling? You hear that this leader and this leader was quarreling. You just wake up one day, see they have reconciled. Why didn't they call the two of their followers to say we are reconciling you? It's happening everywhere. It's not just limited to Ogoni or Kana. Even as they are doing now, you can see we will drag somebody that is from our place because the person decides to support A or B. Drag the person after election, they will say they are cross-carpeted, they have come together, we are one family. But what about the verbal attacks, the things you said that you are not supposed to say? So you see my concern about hasty taking sides, which is like hasty conclusion, even hasty generalization. You don't say because somebody failed in this aspect, call the person a failure. What we should look at is what can bring peace. As if you watch me, I enjoy working more often with organizations, NGOs that are promoting peace, promoting good values. I prefer it because it is from peace that we're going to get every other thing. So youths will learn to maintain restraint. I know that most of them are on employment either here or there, or they have their businesses here or there. So they must defend it.
It's true.
But in defending your business, do you get yourself into more trouble? As I come here now, I begin to say things that I cannot prove, either against the chairman or against Gani. When they call me to prove it, can I prove it? And when they arrest me now, you now say that I was oppressed. You have a podcast studio. Why are you not using it to insult people? You must guide people. Before I came here, you told me this is what you want. This is what I read your rules, and I was comfortable sitting down. And I also told this is what I want us to discuss. This is what we must discuss. We must do that because freedom of communication or freedom of speech does not mean you should do what you like. You must always, anything you say, you have facts for it.
That's true.
On this matter, my interest is not even that anybody was wrong or anybody was right, but we must reconcile the police and the Okada people to be one. The government, both Chief Gani must know that the chairman, I can say that the chairman and him, they are of age brackets. They are Ogoni, future generational leaders. They are in active leadership now. So why should youth now, but have not even started, somebody who have not even been assistant youth leader in his village or even assistant class monitor, you now come to write dirty things about people in public? It is that concern I have, that we should not write dirty things as youth. Because if you watch, you won't see Gani. He has not written anywhere that the chairman is a killer. Or you won't see the chairman write anywhere that Gani is a killer. But if you watch, it is we young people that are writing, both on the side of Gani, both on the side of the chairman. All those things, does it add value to us? Now, there's light in Bori. Parts of Bori doesn't have light. We should call ourselves as youths and go to Northern Town Hall.
Northern doesn't have light too.
Okay. So as we are here now, you're spending on power, right?
Yes.
Imagine that. We should go to Northern Town Hall, talk. How can we generate, do little contribution as our civil obligation, and tell the chairman of council, chairman, we have bought one pole that have made light not to enter here. Chairman, we want you to buy the other 10. The chairman will feel that we are committed to what he's doing, and he will show commitment. A whole lot of things. Communities in Canada don't have lights. We don't need to go to Facebook about it. We need to sit down, talk, have a position, and go and ask government questions. Why are our communities still in darkness? You have made efforts. Chairman have provided transformers in some places. What is that thing that is keeping this other one not to happen? Chairman will explain to you. He's your leader. He's not a dictator. He's not a tyrant. Chairman will explain to you. You will see, okay, is there progress? After we bought transformer, what next? These are issues we can talk about. Our schools are without desk. These are things we need to talk about. It's not just government. We have big Ogoni names. We talk to them. Sir, can you do this? Can you do that? It's not just about politicians. I said this discussion does not tailor to Ogoni alone, Kana alone. I know of people under scholarship with Right Honorable Dumlema. He don't talk about it. My friends, in Uniport, under his scholarship, these are good things that we can emulate. Our big brother, Nuka, and his intervention in his school in the village is seen. The hospital he brought is okay. Dr. Lesima, Chief Lesima and the new Kagote narrative. These are the things we should talk about.
It's true.
New Kagote narrative. These are things that bring peace. They are peace discussions. Every now and then you're talking about who kill who. It doesn't drive development. But look at Lazy silently demonstrating action. He went the entertainment industry, he showed impact. He called entrepreneurs, he showed impact. Now he's saying education, there should be intervention. That is leadership. So youth leaders should think of this in this direction, just like Kagote is thinking. I don't need to benefit from the Kagote initiative first, but I've benefited indirectly because if these teachers go to school, our children in primary and secondary schools without government teachers, we have attention. So we have so much energy where youths can come in and not in taking sides in conflict. So I don't know if that handles that, but that's what I believe. That's what I strongly feel.
Thank you very much, boss. You have really said a whole lot, and I must say that the people of Kana and Ogoni at large are proud of you because you are an embodiment of wisdom. I want to call it a day. Thank you for coming to United Nation.
Thank you.
Here with us again in the studio is another person, Dan, a man I respect so much. My boss, comrade, Emmanuel, Nyiadoo, one time former national president of the National Union of Ogoni Students Worldwide, one time candidate of the Action People's Party for Rivers House Assembly Kana Constituency 1 in the year 2023, a volunteer for anything good. He served as special advisor youth and student to former commissioner for employment, generation and economic empowerment, Dr. Lelonu Wimbibasa, chairman made edition of Kenneth Johnson Foundation Scholarship, coordinator Dr. Leslie Gborobosi Special Business Support for Young People. This is a man right seated at Nero Nation Studio. Thank you, boss, for coming. I'm your humble boy. Thank you for coming to Nero Nation.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, what's the last advice for the Kana youth?
Well, the message for Kana youth today is we just have to first understand that we don't have any other Kana anywhere. This is the only Kana we have. This is the only Ogoni we have.
Yeah.
Nobody is more precious than the other person. We are all humans.
Of course.
Because of my background, we must add value to ourselves. We must add value to Kana. Let's become positive ambassadors of our communities, our families, then agents of the right positive change. And we can do it together.
Thank you.
Through love and trust.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, boss. I'm grateful. Thanks for coming to Nero Nation. See you again next time. Love you.